ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं उदीरयेत्। शृण्वत स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तनः हृदयन्तास्थो ये भद्राणि विधुनोति सुरहितसदम् नाष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 5, Text 13 to 18. तावत्स रुद्रानुचरेर्महामखो नानायुधैर्वामनकैरुदायुधैः पिङ्गैः पिशङ्गैर्मकरोदराननैः पर्याद्रवद्भिर्विदुरान् Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Vidur, all the followers of Lord Shiva surrounded the arena of sacrifice. They were of short stature and were equipped with various kinds of weapons. Their bodies appeared to be like those of sharks, blackish and yellowish. They run all around the sacrificial arena and thus begin to create disturbances. Text 14. केचिद्बद्भज्जुः प्राग्वंशं पत्नीशालं तथा परे सद्ग्निद्रशालं शालं च तद्विहारं महांसम्. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Some of the soldiers pulled down the pillars which were supporting the pandals of sacrifice. Some of them entered the female quarters. Some began destroying the sacrificial arena, and some entered the kitchen and the residential quarters. Text 15. Rurujurya yagya patrani tathaiking nashayana kundeshwamutrayana kechet bibhidurvedi mekhalaha. Translation. They broke all the pots made for use in the sacrifice, and some of them began to extinguish the sacrificial fire. Some tore down the boundary line of the sacrificial arena, and some passed urine on the arena. Text 16. Abadhanta muninanye eke patni ratarjayan apare jag gruhudairvana pratyasannan palaitan. Translation. Some blocked the way of the fleeing sages, some threatened the women assembled there, and some arrested the demigods who were fleeing the pandals. Text 17. Mrugum babandhamani mana virabhadraha prajapatim chandesha pushanam devam bhagam nandishvaro grahit. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Maniman, one of the followers of Lord Shiva, arrested Bhrigu Muni, and Virabhadra, the black demon, arrested Prajapati Daksh. Another follower, who was named Chandesh, arrested Pusha. Nandishwara arrested the demigod Bhag. Text 80. सर्व एव द्विजो दृष्ट्वा सदस्याः सदिवोक्षसः तैर्यर्धमानाः सुभृशं ग्रावभिर्नैकधाद्रवन्. Translation. There were a continuous shower of stones, and all the priests and other members assembled at the sacrificial were put into immense misery. For fear of their lives, they dispersed in different directions. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini. निर्विशेष अशून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you, assembled Vaishnavas, for giving me this opportunity to speak for my own purification. I will summarize today's verses from the lectures given by His Holiness Navyogendra Swami and some senior acharyas. Please forgive me if I add my own meaning or interpretation to this. So here we are seeing the scene of destruction of sacrificial arena of that Daksh, caused because um, Mother Sati, she quit her body. And after that, Lord Shiva, he got angry, and then he unleashed the army of his servants, which here the description is given are so fierce that uh, even the demons were scared of them. So Maharaj said, like here, we should be very respectful to Lord Shiva, because Lord Shiva is very powerful. And then his followers were also so powerful that they could arrest demigods and some of the even the Acha Rishis, they in the sacrificial arena like Bhrigumuni. So that's the power of a devotee, as Lord Shiva is the topmost Vaishnava. And so Vaishnavas are tolerant, as well as Vaishnava can exhibit superpowers as well. And that's because um, they are carrying the Lord in their heart. So all those powers are manifested in them. Although Vaishnavas are uh, not very keen to demonstrate those powers, but that doesn't mean they don't have the powers. So here we are seeing the power of Lord Shiva. Uh, In other stories also, we have seen the powers of other devotees, like Amrish Maharaj. He is a very famous example, um, where he Durvasa Muni tried to offend him, and he wanted to kill him and send the Kritya to kill him. As soon as the Kritya came, the Lord's Darshan Chakra appeared right behind him. Because the Acharya says that Sudarshan Chakra was always there protecting Amrish Maharaj because he was a pure devotee. And then the Sudarshan Chakra was always protecting him. It just appeared when the Kritya came to attack him. And not only killed Kritya, but Sudarshan Chakra chased Durvasa Muni, the whole Brahmanda, even Lord Shiva, Brahma, Lord Vishnu himself could not protect him. But finally, when he took a shelter of a devotee again, to him whom he offended, then Sudarshan Chakra disappeared. So there are two lessons. First is, we as a devotee, we should have faith in Krishna, like Amrish Maharaj had it, that Krishna will always protect us. And then second is not to offend devotees, because devotee has a great powers, even though they may not show or manifest those powers, but Lord definitely manifests those powers in a different capacity. And when you make an offense, definitely it affects our spiritual life. And that's the biggest loss somebody can have. Somebody offends the devotee. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also warned that the biggest uh, obstacle in bhakti is the offense. It's like a mad elephant, especially the offense against the devotee or Vaishnavas, where it's mad elephant like crushes all the trees and creepers indiscriminately. Same way, offense against the Vaishnava destroys all our bhakti indiscriminately, and it puts us back, it takes us back. So that's why here there is another, this is an example that's shown that we have to be very careful. The second lesson that we have learning here, Maharaj said, is we have to be very careful whom we should side. Sometimes we like a person, but that person may not be acting in a proper manner. And then it's our natural tendency to show favor to a person that we know, as we've seen here, that not only Daksha, but who were supporting Daksha were also punished. So, little sympathy for a wrongdoer is very dangerous. Actually, like to make advance in spiritual life, to make advancement in spiritual life, we need to make a note of all these points. Srimad Bhagavatam is giving us the valuable lessons through these examples that this help us to be careful in our spiritual life. Spiritual life, by our life is gifted to us, our spiritual life by our Guru Maharaj, and then Srila Prabhupada, and all the way through Lord Gauranga. Um, and we have been given that mercy, but that we should not take it for granted. We still need to follow certain codes and conduct to protect that mercy. So there are 12 Mahajan, as we know. Out of those Mahajans, the Bhishma Pitama is also one of the Mahajans. But we have seen that he had to suffer because he made a mistake. And the mistake he made was he sided with the Duryodhana, who was the big rascal at that time. So Srila Prabhupada explains that Dhritarashtra was blind materially and spiritually. He was mistreating sons of his brother, who were also devotee of Lord Krishna. So when in the battle of Kurukshetra, when Arjuna asked that, he was lamenting that how can I fight with my own grandfather or my own Acharya, Dronacharya. He was reluctant to fight with them and kill them. But Sri Krishna said that when sons of Dhritarashtra were disturbing Draupadi at that time, Bhishma and Drona didn't say anything, and they did negligence of duty. So you have to punish them. So here, this the lesson for us is negligence of duty must not be done. When something wrong was happening, when a woman was insulted, they did not do anything. As elderly persons, they should have stopped it. So Sri Krishna said negligence of duty is very dangerous. It applies to all as well. Uh, for example, if we do not perform our duty, uh, and that not action will create so many problems for us. And there is saying in India that uh, a disease and a fault, it should be immediately checked, otherwise they will grow. For example, one it's very important point, because if we are given a role and responsibility, we need to act according to it. Srila Prabhupada took a lot of care in the beginning of our movement, and he would give a guidance without biases or impartiality. So Maharaj gave his own example when one of the senior devotee, uh, he was acting not according to the standard, and then Maharaj known Yugandhara Swami, when at that time he was a brahmachari. He questioned his actions, and that brahmachari, or that the senior sannyasi, a senior disciple, he started chastising Maharaj. In fact, he started doing a physical abuse of Maharaj, and not only that, he wrote Srila Prabhupada a bad thing about Maharaj. And not only him, there are so many others who wrote something bad about Maharaj. Maharaj didn't say anything, and only one person wrote in favor of Maharaj. So when Srila Prabhupada got the letter of all those senior people, but at the same time, he also saw a letter from the devotee who lay out the facts. So Srila Prabhupada not just took a side of a senior devotee just because he was senior devotee. He looked at the facts impartially. And then, based on that, he told the senior sannyasi to apologize to Maharaj. So this is Maharaj says this is was the moment where he realized like how great Srila Prabhupada was. You know, he had a like army of senior people who were writing against Maharaj, but Srila Prabhupada, not by influenced by those, he looked at the fact impartially and then came up with the right judgment. So that's what we also try to follow the example of our Acharya and then try to be impartial in those situations. We should follow the steps of this Mahajana and try to act impartially. And then we need to be situated properly and become a good instrument in service of Srila Prabhupada. And then he will take us back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada, another Maharaj gave a little sideway, but Srila Prabhupada, he mentioned Srila Prabhupada has Radharani's mercy. When Srila Prabhupada was young, his father would invite all different sadhus, sannyasis, and he would feed them and he would give them a lot of dakshina. And then when the sadhus would give blessings, he would tell, his father would say, please bless my son. So Radharani would be merciful to him. So because of that, like Srila Prabhupada was blessed by Srimati Radharani. So we should try to develop qualities like him and we will become a better person. Krishna is in everyone's heart, and without his will, nothing can happen. Um, and Maharaj giving another example when in the last days of Srila Prabhupada's life, he lost all the muscle. All he had is skin and bone. And um, that's very miserable condition. But Srila Prabhupada was beyond his body. And then he did his translation of Brahma Vimohan Leela of the 10th canto during his last days. And when people read that translation, they are perfect. Like you cannot say that this translation were dictated by someone who is suffering so much at the end. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned to Bhakti Charuswami at that time that, I there have no muscles. I only have bones and skin, and it is hurting me so much. But Srila Prabhupada still in that situation, he was agnostic to his body. He did not care about, only cared about the translation of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhakti Charuswami asked Srila Prabhupada, said, Srila Prabhupada, why are you so sick? And Srila Prabhupada said, it's because of you. Srila Prabhupada took karma on behalf of his disciples. And he was tolerating everything because he said Krishna wanted to show that my devotees are tolerant. And he wanted to show the compassion to his disciple. He would show it by example that what is the duty of spiritual master and then how he should act and behave. So he gave a perfect example. That's why he was called an acharya. So as our some senior devotees of senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada, we have seen they demonstrate those traits and by their own life, their examples, how we should act in our life. So to conclude this summary, Maharaj said like, if we have a situation where uh, we have our enemy and we have our friend, and our friend is not acting according to the proper situation, or maybe he was not that was his fault, and then our enemy acted in the right situation and it was not his fault, then we should side our enemy in that particular situation and we should stay impartial in that situation. And that's the message here is given because in next few verses we'll see that people he sided with Daksha just because Daksha was their friend, or they got severe punishment from the servants of Lord Shiva. So if you want to maintain our bhakti, if you want to preserve our bhakti, we have to be very careful in our act, uh, in our day-to-day acts. So that's the message given here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and we should learn from this wonderful examples and see how we can implement and learn and grow in our life as well and spiritually. With this, I'd like to conclude the summary. Please forgive me if I add any own interpretation or meaning to this. Hari Krishna.